Hi, I'm Drew.
And I'm Sam.
And welcome to Drewling Samantics. Right, where are you? Come on then, let's see you. Let's have you. There he is. Oh, Kitty. Why on earth are you wearing that shirt, Sam?
Well, no idea, mate. It's not like anything's going on at the moment or anything, is it?
No.
It's not like the biggest sporting event of the last 50 or 60 years is happening in a few hours.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But
no,
I couldn't not show my support, mate. So the England shirt is on, and the fingernails are slowly disappearing, ready for later.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's only a few hours to wait, buddy. Only a few hours to wait. So
but yeah. So I'm assuming you're ready.
Oh,
cheers!
Locked and loaded. Cheers.
Cheers to England.
Here's to Gareth and the boys. There we go. Chin chin.
Yeah. So anyway, enough about that and all that excitement. You all right? How have you been? What have you been up to?
I've had a good week, thank you. I mean, obviously, I've been watching games, semi-finals, etc. But along with that, I've had I'm preparing for a little film shoot, so we've had the script through for that. So I'm just learning that, which is an educational virtual reality film.
Oh,
so I know it, but I'm playing a geeky space mission. So think of sort of like it's like Star Trek. It's a trip to Mars, and I'm playing a scientist on that. So had the script through for that. So I've been reading that, and I've got some meetings coming up.
Cool.
And I've got a little self-tape to do. I did one earlier in the week, and I got another one coming up. So doing lots of those, and just a week full of reading scripts and admin, really, which is nice. Yeah. It's kind of like what I suppose what we should be doing. But yeah, it's been good. And I've been doing a little bit of painting for my aunt and uncle. They're moving house from Cheshire down to Basingstoke. Got a brand new flat, so I've just been helping them do a bit of decorating because they're both in their 90s. So my uncle's not exactly going to be jumping to the top of a ladder.
Well, no. I mean, that said, you're not that far behind, mate. So you want to watch it. You want to go.
Well, that's true. And let's face it, there's no one needs a ladder more than me, do they? Eh? You know, I get that. I get that one in quick.
So you've been up the ladder painting the skirting boards, have you?
That's the one. Yeah. Because I get a nosebleed on a deep pile carpet. I got loads of those, mate. I got them all.
Oh, amazing. Yeah.
So come on then, Sam. I mean, I know what you would have been doing Wednesday, but what else?
I had a interesting Wednesday. But more on that. Yeah, anyway, so I actually had a self-tape as well to do this week.
Good.
Got done self-tape and then like an audio audition tape as well. So a bit of singing as well as a little bit of acting work. So that's cool. Fingers crossed on that one. Should hear very soon. Little bit of prep for everything else. As you say, kind of an admin-y week, getting ready for various bits of filming and keeping on top of other things, keeping websites up to date and checking through all sorts of different casting opportunities and things like that. So yeah, keeping busy. But as you say, probably the biggest thing this week was sitting down and wishing the boys well on their way and then spending a very nervy but very proud evening on Wednesday, as did obviously millions of others across the country, across the UK.
Now I know you like an odd stat. So
I do like a stat. You're right.
I know. So I wrote some things down about because there is a little sort of crosshatch here, a little crossover because we're getting back to watching to audiences going back to the theatre and cinema, etc. But I was interested to find out how many people. I mean, some people will know the figure, but if you don't, did you realize 25.8 million viewers watched on, and that is 75% of all people watching television. 70%
at that moment. Wow.
70% of all people watching television were watching that England game. 25.8 million. I mean, that's I mean, the last big one, obviously, we know that it's not been, we've not had a major championship for all these years. But, I mean, just interesting the number of people that watch television.
Yeah.
You gather, when you think there's 68, 70 million people in the country.
Something like that, yeah.
26.5 million people watched in 2018 the World Cup semi-final against Croatia. 26.5 million.
So the previous semi actually outdid this one. Interesting.
Yeah. But naturally, I mean, yeah, but naturally, I mean, interestingly, 1966 World Cup. How many television viewers do you think it got?
Well, see, I think that's a difficult question because
it is a tricky one.
And I don't mean to sound kind of like I'm throwing you under the bus or whatever, but obviously you were around then. I was not. And I would assume, and again, not jumping to conclusions, I don't know, but I would assume that considerably less people had a television then than do now. I mean, most people now have 2 or 3 because they'll have one in the bedroom, one in the lounge, maybe whatever. Whereas then I imagine it was a bit more of a privilege to have a television. It wasn't quite as... I don't know. This is what I'm saying. I don't want to.
No, I mean, you certainly didn't have one in every room. I mean, we had one. And most households had the one television.
Yeah.
If you had 2, then it's because you had a bloody big house. But I mean, 32.2 million viewers for the 1966 World Cup, which is not surprising when you think of the massive occasion. But I mean,
I guess to an extent as well, we're talking back in the days where there weren't 800 different TV channels and there wasn't
that was a BBC
or online streaming or stuff like that. So there was less choice, but at the same time, the population would have been lower 50 years ago. So it's a bigger percentage of the population watching maybe. But I tell you what, mate, tonight in a few hours' time, I think it might be beaten.
Oh, I've got I mean those figures
might be. So is that just sporting events, or is that literally like the most watched?
Yeah, because I've written a few down, don't you?
I know what you're like.
But look, I do have a list. So here we go then. Royal events. I mean, I mean, one of the biggest was Prince William and Kate's when there was 26 million viewers.
Wow, so up there with the semis, yeah.
Up there with the semis. Diana,
surely that's up the top.
Yeah, well, that's given the fact that it was more recent than the 66 World Cup, it's only 32.1 million viewers.
So just under.
Just under, but that's across all viewing channels, ITV, BBC. But then
that's the other thing, isn't it? I guess so. If you go back further, less channels meant that less of them would have the same thing on, if that makes sense. Whereas things like news reports will go across 10, 15, 20 channels.
Yeah. But we're talking national events, aren't we? I mean, Diana's funeral, there wouldn't have been a television. I mean, if you were showing repeats of, Little House on the Prairie, you probably would have been, you'd have been people have been going, what are you doing, ITV or whoever, come on. But it's interesting. I mean, one of the biggest things recently was Boris Johnson's COVID announcement. That was huge.
I'm not saying I'm surprised. And again, that will have been one across many channels, I would assume.
Yeah. So if we're looking at, what we got now? Oh, there we are. Entertainment highlights. Yeah. I mean, there were big ones. Like I remember at the time, everyone was watching Dallas and watching Who Shot JR.
Yeah.
But English, 30.15 million viewers watched Dirty Den serve divorce papers on Angie in EastEnders. Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
At the time, you're talking not far off half the population.
Half the population watching, because I mean, that was back in the 90s, and that was back, late 80s, early 90s. And the aftermath of that was almost, that was 30 odd million as well. Angie's Acceptance or whatever. Just incredible viewing figures for entertainment. And that's but you see, interestingly, that obviously is built up over the preceding months. You're hitting you've had a storyline, the Angie Den storyline, whereas that went on for months, years, until you reach that moment where he gave her the divorce papers. So extraordinary viewing figures, though. Extraordinary.
So how do and I'm sure you have, because you're very thorough in your preparation when you dog with a bone, basically. For anyone that doesn't know, Drew, once he gets something, he has to go into everything and get. So I have no doubt then that you've looked, because you mentioned in there about how there was build up. So surely things like celebrity competitions and sort of the reality TV side of things, surely that comes into a similar sort of area. I mean, I guess I don't know. Maybe it's not quite so popular. I don't know, but I would certainly think that anything that features celebrities doing things that they aren't famous for, doing things that are normal, shall we say, that must have.
I mean, if you look, I mean, again, I have scribbled a few things down here. I mean, what we got? Oh, well, Dancing on Ice. I think their highest was 7.5 million.
Right,
but that's just on one channel. So you know,
and they have competitors on. So I'm very, I was going to say ill versed. I'm not sure that's the right phrase, but I don't know a great deal. I'm not necessarily a big fan of the sort of the competition side of things. I don't watch a lot of TV, in all honesty. But don't they have, so when you've got one on one channel, isn't their competitor on the other channel or something?
Well, yeah, because if you've got
I'm a Celeb is on one while Dancing on Ice is on another, or something like that.
Yeah. So they're trying to divide the audience, but audiences are very loyal to their reality TV programs. You know, they're so if you've got 7.5 on one channel watching, you know, BBC, whatever it's going up against, there'll be you know, comparable numbers on the other side.
Yeah.
You know, that, so I mean, but then when you get to a final, because then I think they agree not to pitch the finals on the same night.
Oh, okay. I didn't know
apparently that. So you will get, like, you know, you get 7 million on one channel and 7 million on the other watching their various, you know, but then when the finals are on, people will gently migrate just out of interest to see, oh, hang on a minute, so and so's in the final, I quite like him, her, whatever.
They'll defect across momentarily.
I'll just nip across to see it. So that boosts. So it's I mean, it's all a game of figures, isn't it? It's all a game of viewer ratings, and I suppose that's why. And I grind my teeth a little bit on this one because it's a little bit of a bugbear. I mean, you know, that's why reality TV and the phenomenon of reality TV has grown. I mean, and chasing audiences. Yeah. Because, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm still a television watcher, but I have migrated to Netflix and Prime and stuff like that because, in my mind, they're making the programs now that I want to watch. I mean, I don't want to watch Dancing on Ice and X Factor, Britain's Got Talent, you know, and all those programs. I'm still a fan of costume drama, TV series, box sets, whatever. So they're on Netflix now. You know, I'm not a great reality TV watcher.
Do you think they've changed significantly, these competition TV and reality TV? Do you think that, so obviously when they first originated, they were something completely new or something very different that people hadn't really seen? Do you think it's very much of a much, so I don't know that they have the same kind of wow factor in the same way, in that, like, so for example, I can remember almost religiously watching, was it called Pop Idol when it first started?
Pop Idol, yeah.
Which we're talking, I mean, it's got to be 15 years ago, isn't it? If not more.
It might be more than that, mate. I can't remember, but it might be more.
But something that kind of setup, that kind of idea was fresh, new, and different. I mean, there had been other things similar, but certainly not that close, I wouldn't have thought.
Well, I mean, I suppose if you're looking at the talent competitions, I mean, the daddy of them all was Opportunity Knocks, and that was ordinary people going up that had a skill, and you know, people became stars from those. You know, you got Lenny Henry and people like that became huge from those sorts of shows. Search for Star and things like that, and they were, you know, people with talent going on, and I suppose arguably Britain's Got Talent is the new version of that. But Pop Idol, like you say, that was setting out to make a pop band or a pop singer, and that, you know, to see whether there was talent out there. Could this person become a success?
I think.
I mean, my argument to that is,
I think at that point it was giving an opportunity or a platform to people that wouldn't necessarily have had that chance.
Yeah.
And I think it was a very new and different scenario. And I don't think that's the case anymore. I think there are so many of them. And I think to an extent, social media has taken off in such a way that everyone now has a platform and can get seen.
Yeah.
And it's weird because, and we sort of encroach on the controversy side of things, and perhaps personal opinions becoming like you have to divide between fact and opinion. But I think potentially the industry has been affected negatively more so than positive, and people will be switching off now, won't want to watch or listen because I'm giving my opinion. But I think the problem is with creating celebrity, particularly from social media or from these reality TV things. I think potentially you take away from those that maybe have studied hard and worked hard in the industry, and because they haven't got the same sort of following or have used the same sort of outlets, maybe these people coming in have a leg up. I don't know. I mean,
it's interesting because there's two things happening, isn't there? Because the growth and popularity of reality TV means that there are lots of those shows being made, and then creating, you know, their own kind of celebrities who go off and do certain. But whilst they're making those reality TV shows, we're not making the programs that, you know, certainly the BBC was famous for its, you know, its costume dramas, and you know, less and less of those are being made. Less and less of I mean, there are still, don't get me wrong, still great programs out there. There's still great series, you know, but you know, I was going to say sort of things like Holby City and East, but those are soap operas. They've been there and will be there forever. They're ongoing. They're like a white noise that runs in the background of television for me.
Not to interrupt you, but you used an example there, and I hate to say it, but isn't Holby finishing?
Oh, I think it is. You're right. Yes, it is. Yes. Yes.
Great example, mate, except for the fact it's not going to be continued. But you know, I know what you mean. Any of the
but you know, that those long running, I mean, and you know, like things like, you know, the series that have gone, you know, been and gone. I mean, The Bill was a long running series, and the Holby City is long running, you know, and those are good television staples. They're great entertainment. EastEnders is, you know, like it or loathe it, it's there. Coronation Street, Emmerdale, Doctors, all those, you know, series. But we're not making the good, you know, arguably we're not making as many really good drama series. We're not spending, because those now are gone to, you know, to Netflix and Amazon who sink big budgets in. But our viewing habits have changed. I guess you could say our viewing habits, we don't sit round as a family now.
No.
You know, people used to sit and watch television programs in the way that people are watching big sporting or big social events, you know. We don't sit around a television and watch that. You know, the kids are off in their rooms streaming stuff on Netflix or whatever. You know, maybe an older family members aren't sitting there watching the television. So it's so that the quick hit stuff like reality TV, you know, your Towies and Geordie Shores and Made in Chelsea and all those programs that, you know, you watch those and go, I wrote the term down. Someone, was it you who told me? Yeah, you said right. Structured reality.
Well, yeah. So
structured reality was yeah.
The theory of being a fly on the wall watching something when actually it's heavily scripted and pre-planned and isn't on off the cuff at all. Yeah. Right. I mean, so you could look at, I guess, Big Brother was the first thing really to do that proper fly on the wall stuff, wasn't it? And I remember that the first series being so completely unique and different, and it's weird because it was just normal, in inverted commas, people just being put into a strange scenario where they were being watched to do everything all the time.
Yeah, they chucked how many? I don't know how many it was. They chucked
12,
however many people in a house, and saw what happened.
Hmm.
And you know, they didn't do anything. They just left them. You know, and it was that kind of watching a goldfish bowl. But it was interesting. It was an interesting experiment. And then they started to sort of change the setup, and then they started putting people in that they knew were going to fight. So there's no point now. It's a dog fight. You know, it's like putting two dogs in a pit and watching them fight. It's bear baiting.
Almost, and again, this, I don't want to be controversial, but it's almost a little bit of a tick box exercise where they're going, right, well, if you've got something different about you, you've got you're differently abled, or you've got some kind of condition, or your outlook on life is very different to what is considered normal or more common, then you're almost automatically included. Whereas perhaps you don't see, and there is no normality, there is no average Joe kind of thing, but it's almost like that there's, to an extent, deliberately trying to find people that will get a reaction for some reason. And I think the uniqueness is gone because there are so many other similar things out there, and there are some things out there which I'm not sure personally I believe are a good representation of what should be taking up prime time television slots or prime position. And also there are things out there, and I won't necessarily name names, Love Island, that aren't potentially teaching the young generations who are the target audience the right sort of morals and ideas. I mean, to say you can go on this competition and potentially make a name for yourself and become famous and wealthy and successful because of how attractive you are, commercially attractive, like, is that?
And because you're happy to jump into bed with someone on mainline television. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, it's, you know, it's Love Island and all the rest of it, but it's, you know, it's, let's face it, they're very attractive men and women, if you find those sorts of things attractive, who are very happy to hump each other for money on television. That's it. That's what it is. You know.
Right. So those lines we were dancing around, I think you've just.
Let's just jump over them. There are no. I mean, it's like. I mean, the one that makes me laugh, and I can't watch it because it just is. I mean, if I want to see that much meat, I'll go to a butcher's. But it's like Naked Attraction. Like, come on, you know.
Oh my God!
It's like you know, it's like, oh, the idea is if these people see each other naked, and they go, oh yeah, that person seems interesting. I think I want to go out for a meal and a drink with them and get to know them better. It's like, I'm sorry, what? You've seen everything they've got on offer.
If you judging don't like by the genitals, that person is interesting.
Exactly. Yeah.
Sure,
Yeah, and the idea that actually going out for a drink and a meal afterwards will make them even more interesting. It's like, oh, come on. Will they find them attractive with their clothes on? Who gives a damn? She's got big tits and he's got a big knob. For God's sake, that's what it's about.
This is going to be our first episode where people have switched off or have written complaints or are unsubscribing. But
yeah, I know. I got a little bit carried away there.
You might have done a little bit.
I might, but no. I mean, in all seriousness, you know, I mean, it's you know, it does sort of take television pretty much as far as you can go without getting into, you know, getting pornographic. I mean, is it an interesting televisual experiment? Well, it is for the first one or two programs. After that, then it is just prurient looking at who's going to go out with who.
Well, to an extent, the shock factor's gone, hasn't it? Because
absolutely.
When it first came out, I'm sure it had enormous viewing figures because people were like, surely they're not going to do that. Like how it describes it's going to be, they can't do that. This is TV. This is Britain's stiff upper lip.
Yes.
And cup of tea,
easy.
Don't mention sex and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But after a point, aren't you just going, well, this is, yeah,
exactly what I just said. I'm not going to repeat that, but yeah, that is the thing. I mean, my problem, you know, my two problems are that it creates bad. I consider, in my opinion, my for what it counts, I don't think it's very good television for me to watch. So I do that thing that everyone says, Drew, if you don't like it, turn it off. And I do. And I have that option. And you're not going to get soapboxy about it. But then I do think there's also, you were saying about role models for people. I do think it creates a strata of the thing of celebrity, and that's the cult of celebrity now. And then you get all the programs where these so-called celebrities are taking part, and it's like, I'm a celebrity, get me out of here. When it started, okay, an interesting piece of television. Get all these people, stick them on an island-ish, jungle-ish, make them do different things. Now, they were arguably people that had other skills. They're newsreaders, sports people, actors, whatever, singers, celebrities. But they've kind of run out of those people now. So now you get Love Island people who, well, they're just reality stars. They'll do a reality, they'll do a reality show.
Wife of footballer, husband of politician.
It's kind of like, I don't really care. You're a celebrity, get you out there. You're going to eat something that's nasty. Do you know what? I don't care. I don't know who you are. I don't care about you. And I don't care if you win or lose, because you've got no value to me. I don't understand. There's no challenge.
There's something for me that and to sort of bring it to our level, because obviously we're not celebrities, we're not famous people. We are highly unlikely to end up on anything like this, because that's not,
certainly after what I've been saying today.
We're highly unlikely to end up on anything now. But anyway, I think to an extent you can look at it in the same way as you look at pantomime. And I think if you go back 20, 30, 40 years, not that I can go back that far, you certainly can, but you look at Panto, and Panto sells primarily on having big names doing something that you wouldn't normally see them doing. Yeah. So back in the day, having your EastEnders star being the baddie in a Panto was great, because yes, they're an actor, that is their profession, but you're used to seeing them as an average person in a soap opera playing a normal role, and then all of a sudden you've got them being this larger than life, silly, naughty, whatever character on a Panto stage. Very different. Same with perhaps a magician, or if you had like a sports star doing Panto, like that was so out of the norm, and that's what sells tickets. And as a performer who is not a name, I love doing Panto, but I appreciate I'm not selling the tickets. No. I'm there to make up the story, to make up the characters, to do what I do best. But I know I'm not the star billing, because Panto sells because of who you have in it. I mean, it won't go into it because it's boring, and I don't want to sound like
it's commercial. It's commercial theatre, and we all understand that, know. And I don't. I mean, if there's a big name in a Panto that I'm doing, and they're going to be bringing lots of people, at the end of the day, that's good for the theatre. It's good for me, because I'm. The more money the production makes, the more I'm likely to be able to put in my wage packet.
And there's no secret that you mentioned the wage packet, that those celebs are on considerably more money than us as normal. Yes. Again, I keep using words which don't really, but no. Actors who are playing a part, because we're not selling the tickets, so we don't justify that bigger wage packet. That's fine. And that
I kind of understand that. Yeah. I get that. I mean, all my sort of standing on a soapbox ranting today, it is tongue in cheek. I mean, I do understand that television needs to make money. I do understand there is an audience for these programs out there, and I'm not knocking those people. I mean, it's just that I think the one that the naked attraction thing is, well, it's kind of like Big Brother. Let's see what people do if they're confronted with 7 or 8 naked people, and do they want to go out with that person? Fine. I don't want to watch that, and I exercise that button that we all tell each other. Switch it over. Yeah. If you don't want to watch it, switch over, which I do. My bugbear is that I think we could be making better programs that maybe I could be in. But I think our television, there's a lot of discussion recently about quality of television. I think we could be improving the quality of our television, keeping those programs. There is obviously a place. If there's an audience for them, there's a place for them. I think the one that ultimately makes me giggle, and I have watched it a couple of times because it does make me giggle because of the premise, is Gogglebox. It's watching people watching television. That I think, okay, we've kind of gone full circle now. I'm watching a program about people watching programs, which is in the infinity mirror. It's like, okay, now we have kind of, it's like
surreal, isn't it? Really,
it is surreal. I mean,
And as you've said, like it sounds like we're pissing and moaning. That's not what it's all about.
No.
We're talking about the awareness and the fact that perhaps there is scope to do so much better. And it's like I was saying with the Panto kind of thing. What sells tickets ultimately, or what gets views, is ultimately what's going to win. It just seems a shame that we've gone from, if you use the Panto sort of theme, we've gone from people doing something completely abnormal to what they would normally do, but they are celebs in their own right, to people who are famous for being famous, then doing something which actually that they're not that good at either. But yet still it seems to be
there is a conundrum.
I guess opportunity seems to be taken away from those that have trained and worked really hard to get where they are, that because of finance. And again, I understand tickets have to sell. Theatre and TV exists to make money. It is a business. But I think perhaps maybe we could do with looking at it a bit more. But anyway, enough about that. But let's get rid of negativity, because I've just remembered, mate, that we need some serious positivity, because we need to draw the winner of our competition.
Well, I was going to give you a segue then and say, let's make dreams and winners ourselves today. But you're exactly right, Sam.
It's right. You've got it in there now. You've shoehorned that in. So, but
I did.
So I'm sure I'm going to regret saying this, but so we've got to draw the winner to the amazing competition with the prize given to us by the lovely Amy Forrest, who we had on last week.
Yes, great.
Given us an amazing free coaching session, industry-based, or those not in the industry that would like to get into it. Amazing prize. So I'm going to regrettably hand over to you, Drew, and say, have you got a method of drawing our winner?
I don't think you're going to be disappointed, Sam, because as you say quite rightly, I've been silver surfing. I've been on the internet.
He's been loose on the internet.
I found another prize winner creating random program. I love this one. Now, the sun is shining, and the country is celebrating. So I thought, what better than a little bit of sort of Blackpool pleasure beach on the seaside kind of event, right?
Oh,
so
I found this.
Look, hang on. Look at this. Look at this. Now you remember
wow.
Now, if you're not watching us, ladies and gentlemen out there, what I have found is, you remember those as a kid, you put your 10p in or a pound and in the machine, and you've got a grabber arm, and you control the grabber arm, you drop it down and you try and win a cuddly toy or the more expensive watch or whatever is in there.
And try is right, because they were bloody impossible. I'm sure I haven't used one for a long time, but no one ever won, surely.
Yeah. No, sure. Well, today I'm changing all that, because with my grabber arm here, look. Here we are. It's my grabber arm. As I move my mouse across the screen.
Wow. Yeah, away it goes.
There we are. And this piece of wonderful technology is going to help me draw some names.
Okay. So who have we got in there, Drew? Can you show us?
I'm going to put my specs on.
Oh, the bin lids are on. There we go.
I hit this little machine here. There, I have generated a list of names.
Very nice. These are all our entrants then.
These are our entrants. So what have we got? We've got Sophie T, Edmund W, Moe H, Michael F, Neil A, Gilly P, David C, Kerry E, Rachel B, Janet F, Lucy A, Stacey C, Kathy C. Oh, it's a big list. Leanne B.
Yeah, we had some good entries this week, yeah.
Patrick S, Shirley H. That is our list. Okay.
Wow. So if you are one of those names read out, then you were one of the people that did as you were told, or entered the competition appropriately. And keep your fingers crossed, because this could be your moment.
Yeah. So, right, I'm going to press this little bar here that says set, and sets my machine up.
Right.
And, oh, hello. What's happened there? There we go. Right. Here we go then.
You nearly broke it.
I nearly broke it, but here we are. There it goes. The arm goes across. The arm goes into the middle. I'll stop in the middle there, and we hit. And here we go. The grabber is dropping. And out of the machine comes... Oh, here we go now. So Rachel B.
Congratulations. You are the lucky winner of the wonderful prize given to us, or provided by Amy Forrest. You will be having a free industry coaching session with Amy. So as always, with all our competitions, all you have to do is to send us an email. If you're watching us on YouTube, the email address should be scrolling across the bottom now. But if not, then it is drewlingsamantics@gmail.com. Just ping us an email and we'll get that all set up for you. So congratulations. Well done. Our lucky winner, Rachel B.
Rachel B. Well done. There we go.
Amazing. And I'll tell you what, mate, it was just such an honor to have Amy on with us. What an incredible lady.
We've been really lucky. We're so early in our second series, our second season, and we've had some fabulous guests already. I mean, Amy's great, multifaceted, tries a bit of everything, succeeds at everything, and has a great advice to pass on.
Indeed. Same with David, who we had a couple of weeks prior to that. Started out as a musician, but has ended up doing all sorts of things. Both you and I have worked on stage with him, and he's just very, very talented. And as you say, we've been incredibly lucky this season to have such kind of incredible people with such a variety of talents. And I'll tell you what, we've got the same next week, haven't we?
It doesn't stop, does it? It doesn't stop.
We have got an amazing guest next week. Now, we're not going to spoil it. We're not going to tell you who, but trust us when we say this person really has done a bit of everything and done it all so bloody well that, to be honest, it makes me incredibly jealous. But,
you know what? I think we've got to stop having these multi-talented guests on. It's putting us to shame, you know.
That's it. We'll let them do the show and we'll just go off and do some stuff ourselves, maybe.
Yeah.
But no, so definitely want to tune in next week, people. Don't miss out on our incredible guest. But aside from meeting and speaking to that lovely person next week, what have you got coming up, mate? What's going down?
I've got some rehearsals booked for the virtual reality film that I'm doing, this educational film. So we start the script fluttered through the letterbox or fluttered through email the other day. So I've started reading that. I should be a couple of days of rehearsals for that. It's being shot in the style. We're going to shoot it all, rehearse it all, and then shoot it. And then we have, because it's an interactive film, we've got a load of other stuff, other dialogue that we could drop in later. Yeah. So as the characters. So I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be fun. I've got another script to read. I've hit a bit of an Irish streak at the moment because
Irish streak. Is that
I know.
I'm literally talking Irish roles.
No, Irish roles. I've got the Haunting of the Lady Jane, which we film late August, playing an Irish character. I'm doing a script reading, again another script to read this week, playing a dodgy Irish businessman, and a self-tape to do for an Irish priest. They're good fun too, because it's a bit of a departure. And if you're thinking how good your Irish accent, well, you've worked with me as Mrs. Brown, so
we don't need to go into that.
We don't need to go there. Yeah, but that's my week. So yourself, Sam, come on, what you got coming up, mate?
So exciting stuff. I have got. I told you we previously had a meeting, the full cast of the House That Zombies Built.
Oh, House of Zombies, yeah.
So we managed to have a meeting to sort of discuss planning things and going through character development and things like that. We have got our first full script read through coming up, so I'm really excited about that.
Because the filming is creeping ever closer, isn't it?
Oh God, I cannot wait, mate. I've been lucky enough that this year I have done a fair amount of work. I've done, as you have, quite a lot of online stuff and a few odds and sods here and there, and obviously keeping up with the podcast. Yeah, this will be my first time back on a major film set, full feature film set this year. So I'm so excited. But yeah, so we've got a read through of the script of that, so that should be quite fun. And then a couple of other little bits, maybe some voiceover work, just keeping on top of things, really.
Excellent.
And with any luck, I'm going to say that my Monday will be a write-off. Tomorrow is going to be a write-off, because I'm hoping tonight that I will be celebrating hard. Everything crossed. And I'll be honest with you, mate, I'm not going to jinx it and say those three words.
Don't predict.
I genuinely do believe it. And apologies to our listeners, viewers who are not football fans, but you can't help but get in the spirit and think that it's been 55 years since a big event like this. And I think it is our time. I think after everything we've been through, the shit year that everyone's had, or 18 months everyone's had, what better way to make the country feel better than something as positive as this? So everything crossed, and I cannot wait for tonight.
Well,
I'm nervous, but I'm so excited.
Yeah, I know. It's gonna be fun. Just whatever happens, I think we just enjoy the occasion. You know.
Yeah, just make the most of it, and hopefully break those records after everything.
Absolutely, the viewing figures.
I'm sure we will. But
quick burst of Sweet Caroline, mate, and we'll be well away.
Yeah, but aside from that, mate, here's here's to us, here's to you,
Here's to it.
here's to the three lions. Cheers. I look forward to seeing you and our special guest next week.
I'm looking forward to it, mate. Take care. See you next week.
Thanks, everyone at home. See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks again for tuning in. We hope you've enjoyed watching this episode of Drewling Samantics.
If you have, then please consider subscribing to our channel and you'll get notified every time a new video is released. Don't forget, we're also available as audio only. Just search Drewling Samantics in any good podcast app.
Please support us on other social media too. We're on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, and all our links and handles are on screen now.
We love welcoming new followers and subscribers, so please share with your family and friends and we'll be eternally grateful. Stay safe and we'll see you next time.